for Biafra. Raffle draw. BFR, Raffle Jingle. My people, follow who no road. His Excellency Simon Ekpanjoku. Na him they carry us enter Biafra. He they play the show. No be lie. The good guy, Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government, in exile, went there for Obodo Yibo, Finland. With him government, na him they do the wonder. Say make you join, follow up. He go sweet you for body. Freedom today, better for you and your pikin them. I dey tell you, he can still bring ogbonge raffle draw with big money when you go win. I dey tell you, no be lie. Starting from on the 29th of November, go reach December 3rd. Now this thing dey happen 2024. And make I shock you, the money, it makes sense well. $20 and total winning prize $10,000. A first prize $5,000, third prize $2,000. BFR, no sit down, no sit down. Look, na dog name. They want from here gather money to build Biafra, where you they cry for sins. You go also win too.
No place shortly, you will understand that all is not well, and the only way for you, as an indigenous person in that contemporary Nigeria, is to fight for your own freedom. If you're a Biafra, join the Biafra movement. If you're an Udua, join the Udua people. If you're from Arewa, fight for your Arewa. If you're from the Middle Belt, join the Middle Belt movement. That is the only solution. I want you to watch this clip from beginning to end. You'll be glad you did. Let's watch.
Sir, it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Sir, honestly speaking, I don't have what it takes to introduce you or to say anything about you. Give us an overview of your life as a person.
Thank you. To start with, I am about 80 years old. 80 years old. In fact, by December this year, I will clock 80. I believe I will be more because there were no registries when I was born. And if there were, nobody registered me. Okay. I chose the date I was born. In other words, when I was going for entrance exam in the 50s, I had to go and swear an affidavit as to my age. And I chose my age from my friends who were born about the same time. So my people told me. So I am about 80. I attended CIC Enugu and then joined the Nigerian Army in 1960. That is before independence. I joined the Nigerian Army when it was called Royal Nigerian Army, and I attended as a pioneer of the Nigerian Military Training College, which was at Kaduna. I attended it for 6 months, and from there I was chosen as one of the 5 people sent to Sandhurst. So I went to Sandhurst with Akine Ade, if you remember Akine Ade, who is now a Lieutenant General, Owokwe, who is already dead, Ihedibo, an ex-CIC, like myself, and a Romobo with me. These are the people who went to Sandhurst. Normally the best 5 were sent to Sandhurst, and I was lucky to be among the best 5. That's it. So we went to Sandhurst, and I want to be brief because I have a lot of things to say about myself, both right and wrong. So I went to Sandhurst. From there, I came back to Nigeria. No, I went to a place called Chatham to do military engineering, and it was for 1 year. And after that, I came back to Nigeria, and Nigerian Army sent me to America. So I went to Fort Belvoir in Virginia to do career engineer officer career course. So that's what happened. After that, I came back to Nigeria in 1965, and lo and behold, things were not going well in the country. You remember the 1964 elections and all that? there were some reverberations with regard to the goings on in the country that were, you know, not doing well for Nigeria. So I got involved in the coup of January 66, for which I was detained by Ironsi. I was detained in Lagos, Kirikiri, from Kirikiri to all sorts of prisons, including the Enugu prison. And by July 1966, I was at Abakaliki prison. I wasn't the only one. We were about 28 of us anyway. So I was detained there, and then there was July coup. Unfortunately, the coup, second coup, came in July, end of July. That is, after which the emergence of Gawan became a fait accompli. So, Ironsi was killed by Northerners who did the July counter coup. Ojukwu, who was the governor of the East, decided that he would release us from prison. So I was released with Nzogu and other people who were not killed by the Northern Thugs when they struck in July 1966. And that is because we were held in the East. And typical of, coups, the counter coup, had no effect in Enugu. It had effect in Lagos, everywhere except Enugu. And so, and that was because some troops in 1st Battalion, which was at Enugu, heard about or had wind about the coup coming in, that's a counter coup, and seized the armory. The armory is where they kept arms. They seized it, and so when Northerners came to take over the armory, they were arrested. And those Northerners, including Yaradua, the Yaradua that is dead now, a lot of them, and Ojukwu was consulted, because at that time he was hiding in the police headquarters, but eventually he was consulted, and he used those people arrested, those Northerners arrested, as a bargaining chip to get our people who were in the north, who were arrested in the north, released and brought home. The only thing is that when the Northerners in the east were going home, they were allowed to go home with their personal weapons, whereas those of our people who were in the north, who were allowed to go, were not allowed to go with their personal weapons. In any case, they were lucky they had their lives with them. So that's it. After that, then the war came. Gawan, who said to the world there was no basis for unity, fought a war of unity. In fact, brought war of unity to our doorstep. You understand?
Yeah.
Brought the war here, and that's why I don't have any regard for him, because he said there was no basis for unity. And in another breath, he talked about unity. He had reneged over the Aburi decision that no war should be used in solving Nigerian problem. Today, you can see what is happening in the political arena. Gawan is not saying a word. When he has opportunity to talk, he says, I don't want anybody to do anything about unity that will affect our unity. Unity is for the living, not for the dead. Dead people don't talk about unity. And therefore, what is important is that he should be a man and speak up against a man who is ruling this country wrongly. Because he was the one who imposed a war of unity on Nigeria. And many people died. Unfortunately, Nigerians don't have statistics as to how many people died either this way or that way. That is Nigeria for you. And anybody who cares can say anything and do anything and get away with it. That is not. So anyway, apart from the one saying basis of unity, we fought a war. I fought a war, and for which I got this wound. I got this wound at Abo after the 9th mile corner, and it's a machine gun wound, and it has its debilitating effect right now. That's why I'm traveling to see what can be done. Not that I want to continue living, because it doesn't bother me one way or the other. God's time is the best. Now, after the war, the same Gawan said, no victor, no vanquished. But the same Gawan set up a board of inquiry headed by Adebayo. And the board of inquiry was to determine what we, ex-Nigerian army officers, did against Nigeria during the war. But he said no victor, no vanquished. And today, how are they treating us? There is victor, there is vanquished. Everybody knows that. All right? All right. So he set up that board of inquiry, and they determined that we should be rearrested and detained. And that's what I covered in the fall of Biafra. How they treated us. We went back to Kirikiri. First of all, Porakot prison, where they were giving us, I don't know. It's not good. I don't want to rewrite a book. Let's just live, sleeping dogs lie. So I went to detention 1970, 71, 72, 73, 74. We were in prison. No trial. But thanks to Dr. Tai Solari, you remember him? He made a march from Ikene to Lagos, persuading Gawan to release us. There were people outside Nigeria who were bothered about our being continually, detained. And even some people went to the United Nations to talk about us. But Nigerian government, Gawan's Nigerian government, there were no detainees in Nigeria. No detainees. And so we spent 5 years in prison without trial. And when they were there to release us, it was Hassan Usman Katsina who received us at the Lagos Garrison Organization, and he said to us, look, from now on you can go, but don't enter any military barracks and all that. These are the people who said no victor, no vanquished. And he released us, not even a kobo to any of us for transport home from Lagos. But you see, no man is an island. This God we serve, He knows everything. He sees everything. And I thank Him, because I'm here today talking about what experiences I have. There are people who haven't had that kind of experience. So I thank God. So after that, I came out, starting life afresh. I don't want to go into that anymore because it's an old story. So that is where it ended. Until I started writing books. I am not very good at writing books, because if I were good, I would have written more than 3. Actually, I have another book titled Figments and Nothing. But it doesn't matter. So,
all right, sir. Thank you so much. You're giving us an overview, a summary of a very wonderful life, full of experience. And we thank God for your life, that you're still here with us to share your experience with us. Now let's go down to the coup. Because from the coup, or from the political instability in the West, which led to the coup, then from the coup to the genocide war, then to the current Nigerian system, what we are experiencing now. Now, you talked about the coup or being co-opted into the coup. What led to the coup and all that? Give us an insider and personal experience of you being part of that coup and why it is called Igbo coup. And you wrote a book called 5 Measures.
Yeah, Nigeria's 5 Measures.
Nigeria's 5 Measures.
Thank you very much. The thing is, I don't want to repeat what I have already said in my book, but the point is, the coup came as a result of taking exception to what was happening in Nigeria. People making nonsense. There's a former governor of the North who wrote lately that Nigeria is ripe for a coup. Did you read it?
Yeah, I think I saw it.
What's up? Yes. Nigeria is ripe for a coup. When people come and start messing up other people's lives, because some people are not serious about leadership. They are not serious. They are not serious about Boko Haram. They are not serious, and they don't even want to involve you. They are devising you. They are pushing you away instead of bringing you in. And yet we had fought a war of unity. Can you imagine it? It is unconscionable that you should find a war of unity, a war to keep Nigeria one and indivisible. And yet, somebody who calls himself a ruler or a leader is dividing the country, pushing people aside, saying this is not qualified or unqualified. This is ridiculous. If an Igbo man is being killed today, many people won't bat an eyelid. Whereas if it's somebody else, oh, they will start crying out. I was expecting Nigerians to come out and speak against the question of pushing Igbos out of the system. Igbos form the part of the triboid in this country. You can't push them away. In fact, Igbos form the largest ethnic nationality in Nigeria, and I stand to be corrected. And yet they are being treated as commoners, as though they don't exist. Okay, but you see, let me just say this. Our people say, oh, so the best thing is to ignore all those things and move on.
Okay, but why was it called Igbo? Now, who made it Igbo?
I have already explained it in my book. It was called Igbo coup from day one. As soon as the coup took effect on the 15th of January 1966, BBC came out with a pronouncement that 5 Igbo majors did a coup in Nigeria, trying to seize power. That is why I wrote a book titled, I wrote this book in prison, Kirikiri, even though we are not allowed to write, but it doesn't matter. So I wrote it, calling it Nigeria's 5 Measures, but in the text I explained that it was a wrong nomenclature given by BBC. In other words, I was castigating BBC for the word 5 measures, because there were more than 5. There were in fact 8. The thing is, Igbos constituted at that time more than 60% of officer corps of the Nigerian army. So you would expect that most of the people to do a coup against the government should be Igbo. It was not an Igbo coup. There are other coups in this country after that. You don't name a coup after those in the majority. You should investigate the coup first. Because if anybody did the investigation, you would see that they might call it a Yoruba coup, because it was only Awolowo that was standing to gain from that. Only Awolowo was the political juggernaut that was gained from that coup.
The beneficiary of that.
Yes. And yet they say Igbo coup because it suited them to say it's an Igbo affair.
And
But eventually, because I said, I have been to Oputa panel, we've killed that matter. And somebody like Babangida said, we are now better informed. And most importantly, Ademoyega, a Yoruba, wrote a book titled Why We Struck. I recommend this book to all Nigerians.
was he part of it?
Of course, Major Ademoyega was part of it. Was one of the major.
And he's a Yoruba.
Yes. And he said, he claimed in his book, Why We Struck. I'm saying it emphatically so that anybody can go and buy that book. It's in the bookshops. Incidentally, he's dead now, but the books are there. Okay, Why We Struck says, we are only three that did the planning of that group. And he named them. Himself, Ademoyega, is from the University of London. He read history before joining the army. Nzogu from Obanam and Ima Ifajuna, three of them. Any other thing you hear? And they were to do that coup in 1961. But you see, they kept postponing it. And they had reasons to postpone this coup. Because if you are going to do a coup against, let's say, A, and A is not in the country, what do you do? Do a coup in Baku? No, it's not done.
Okay. Now, you talked about the Oputa panel.
Yes.
And before we get to that point, because the Oputa panel was set up during the current dispensation, democratic dispensation.
Under Obasanjo.
Under Obasanjo's
Yes.
presidential system.
And Oputa panel recommended that Igbos should be apologized to, and they should be compensated. I want to stand corrected. And of course, Obasanjo came out openly saying, my government will not apologize to anybody, and we will not pay compensation to anybody. He said it on TV, NTA.
So now, that's after the war, after that genocide war.
Yes.
Many people, the videos are out there, what our people passed through, what you experienced, the kind of suffering, deprivation, air barricade, and the land, sea blockade, and all that.
Yes.
Now, after that war, a victor, no victim,
No vanquish.
yeah, was declared, and they called a program. They called 3 hours: the reconstruction, the rehabilitation, and the reintegration. How did that go?
How did it go?
Yeah.
How did it go? Sorry.
Yeah.
Now the point is this: even if we cry from here to thy kingdom come, if the government of the day doesn't want to do anything, it won't do anything. We will always be talking while they will be chopping. All I can tell you is, Gawan said they were going to have the 3 R's: rehabilitation, reconstruction, and whatever it is. What has he done? Boko Haram is being fought in the northeast today, but they have been reconstructing and rehabilitating them. To the amount of money being voted, the one of Biafra that was fought how many years ago? It ended in 1970. Who has been rehabilitated? Nothing.
What have been reconstructed?
But you see, Obasanjo has given us a hint as what decisions they took after the war, because Obasanjo was the commander of that Marine Commando, and it was through them that the war ended, okay, at Owerri. So he has given us a hint that they took a decision against Igbo, against Igbo, yes. So we know, and let me tell you, it's not good to be crying like a baby. It's not. I know that Igbos can take care of themselves. That's why I detest the idea of anybody talking about want to be president. Why do you want to be president? President of what? We should know what is happening, sit down and talk, and decide on the modalities for moving forward. What we should do is not to cause another civil war, but to handle our fate, holding our fate in our own hands. Simple, and we can do it.
And okay, before we get to that, because I'm still going to come to that. Now, the issue of Biafra have resurrected. It seems the spirit of those who died during the Biafran war have come back to repossess even the children that never saw the war or had anything about it.
That is the point.
And they are now shouting, Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. We want it now, not tomorrow. Now, as a father who has seen it all, who was part of it, will you say that before that coup, or the incident before that coup, the coup and the war and after the war, and what is happening today in Nigeria, is there any difference? Or has it got
Things are worse today than before. There is more crisis in Nigeria today than before. In fact, the only thing, the difference is the war itself. There's more crisis. Name any ethnic nationality. Talk about kidnapping. Talk about herdsmen. Talk about, good Lord. So I don't know where to start.
All right, sir. Honestly speaking, we have had a whole lot. It's just that we have little time, but we have extracted a lot of information and experience from you. Now, this resurgence of Biafra agitation, and you've, made a very important statement that the Igbos can find their footing.
Of course.
Now, and they are asking these young people for the fact that the situation then, the situation now is far worse.
Yes, much worse.
Now, and they are saying that they will want to be separated from Nigeria so that they can find their footing and push for their own destiny in their own hands. With what Nigeria had done so far against Igbo, with the decisions and the conspiracy they've done and modeled that will make sure that an Igbo man will not flourish within the Nigerian space, do you think that these young chaps, this young generation, they are correct or they are in right order saying we want to do everything possible to secure our homeland and flourish within our homeland without external
Excuse me.
and interference?
What I ask the youths to do is to make haste slowly. Don't rush into anything that you will regret. Don't rush into anything you will regret. Before you do anything, you must explore the chances you have of success.
Okay.
I am talking about, like some people talking about, we want presidency. But that is tall order. Why do you want presidency? Is it your father's property? This is rubbish. You can make Igbos think in this country. You can make Igbos think, T-I-C-K, in this country by human development. If you develop your own family and every other Igbo person does the same thing, and we're not doing badly already, you will find that you will be the cynosure of all eyes.
That's what you're talking
There
about.
are people now who go to Onitsha market to go and find, they come from the north to go to Onitsha market to find out what made these people who lost the war think.
And that is what people are talking about, Akurono, making this place to develop.
Exactly.
Okay.
We should keep our place tidy. Tidy your own home. That is, put our hearts together before we talk about each and other.
I think that is very important because some people are coming up with a campaign that our homeland should be secured.
That is
good
ridiculous.
governance, good development, economic development, human capital development, and
Yes.
all that should first of all be integrated into Igbo livelihood, and culture, and everything,
Exactly.
so that they can.
In other words, we will put our place in order before we think of going outwards.
All right.
By the way, there's another thing. I don't like people ridiculing anybody because you are not part of their ethnic nationality. Because we learned lessons from that. I won't go beyond what I have just said. But mind your language. Our people should mind the way they talk. They are very rude. What they write, I read, and they are usually rude. Why? And their language is not even polished. So, what is important is that we should look beyond our noses. We should make friends. We should reach out to other people. Because no man is an island. We should reach out to other people. And not some people who draw a map of Biafra and include Benue and include even some, I think they have gone as far as Northeast. They are crazy. But I don't know whether they are not doing it out of spite. So let us be human in our approach to human affairs. Because there's another thing I want to say in that respect. The white man says 10 different things are not necessarily any more different than 5 different things. Do you want me to expatiate? Good. Nigeria is like an octopus. Many tribes, many ethnic groups, many languages, and so it's even probably ungovernable. But Biafra was also in the same problem, had the same problem, because we had minorities. Minorities wanted their freedom. The only difference is that in the case of Biafra, every province had its own provincial government. We had 10 of them.
After watching this very video I played, do you still have any doubt in your mind that Nigeria can never survive? My fellow Biafrans, it is either freedom or nothing. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect the Biafra Republic in exile, protect our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, and protect our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Biafra government, peace, unity, progress, and equity. We move airborne.